I'm back. I am back. I came right back because there is a message that is here and it is being downloaded currently. And I have said this before in my other messages, but I know people will not go back and listen to everything that is said. Many people take things with a grain of salt. In other words, they take very little regard, no concern, or attention to it at all. They listen and then they pass by it. And that's fine until the message is directly pertaining to you. Now your ears are open. Now your eyes are open. Your nostrils are wide open. Because you got a message that's for you. Now you're ready to listen and ready to maybe take action. You're trying to figure out what is the best course of action. We can have people sit here and talk about solutions and solutions all day, but when are you actually going to put them in place? We need action. Hello? Oh, okay. I just needed to be sure that there were some people that were in the audience that could hear me when I say, be about that action. So you can sit here and talk for so long about how you're going to save $200 so you could take that trip. Where have you done it? Where have you started? $5 a week? How long would that take? That's an action. God is basically saying that he's tired of talking. He is pretty much just letting me know that there is no more room to talk. I'm talking right now because this is a message for people to hear me, because I'm already well ahead of you guys anyway. I'm already planning for 2021. And actually, if you go back and listen to my first and my second messages, I talk about my little paper staplet book that I created out of sticky notes, yellow sticky notes, and created me a goal book of 8 goals that are going to last me through the entire decade. I'm a visionary. I'm a forecaster. And God is telling me that I'm a little bit of a prophetess. I don't be trying to. I really don't want to be here. I am being convicted right now because I have not been here. I am late on my messages. I'm late. I'm behind. And God says I need to catch up. I need to be on time. Starting now. There is no more time for games. If you are in America right now, you have a duty to uphold. And that is to maintain your liberty and maintain your dignity and lose your pride. Lose your pride, because we cannot live without community. And we have to find our humility. Jesus. So, I just ended my message speaking about being productive and producing. What product do you have that's valuable for you? I don't know who's listening, but for those who can clearly see, my art is a product that's valuable for me. I've never done anything with it. I have some ideas that I haven't necessarily put in place. I didn't want them on YouTube videos, but this is where I'm starting. But that's my product. That's what I can produce. That's something that I can do very good. There's other things that other people can do very good as well. be that. Produce and exchange wholeheartedly. Why do you have to be greedy with money? Money is a currency. And if you listen to my, I don't know which one I spoke about. Maybe this was on one that was unpublished. Money is a currency. It is supposed to flow like water. That is why they considered it liquid. You should be able to consume it, freeze it, store it away, pull it out when you need to, and pass it on to others to use. You really have to think of money like water. Water is extremely valuable. Our bodies are 75% water, 80% water. Earth. 3/4 of the earth is water. It's a very valuable currency. It flows. Here's the thing with currency. Every now and then, we meet a blockage. Quite often, we come against a wall, a dam. And it is so funny that God has me talking about this today, because if I can just now recall, about 2 days ago, the dams in Michigan just exploded and all of that water is flooded. So that lets me know that over there in that area, especially in that Flint, very, very corrupt. We need to get that whole area fixed. My very last video, I was talking about the states. One in particular that is coming up for me just right now in this download is Michigan. We had a water crisis that had been there for too long. God said enough is enough. He sees what y'all are doing to his people. Y'all don't think God knows what gentrification is? Y'all don't think that God is hearing the conversations that are being had? I'm hearing the conversations that are being had. Okay? So all these people that think that they're doing something in the dark, it always is going to come to light. So now here we are again. The dams in Michigan have overflooded. They have broken loose. And now there's about to be another crisis in Michigan. And I bet that they don't even there. That's another state that's about to get bailed out. What was the other state that I had just mentioned on my last video? California. That California just needed to be, they asked the government for some money to reopen. Why? Because California is in extreme debt. Why? Let's talk about the housing crisis that happened about 12 years ago. We will not. So like I was saying, money is a currency. So there's a very big money corrupt over there in that area. That whole Midwest area, all of it is corrupt. All of it. And that's where God's going to start first. We thinking that he's going to show up in California. We thinking that he's going to show up in Georgia. We think that he's going to show up over in New York somewhere. God is about to show up and show out over there in Chicago. He probably finna show out in Michigan, somewhere over there in that area. It's going to be something weird that we're not in Colorado somewhere. God is going to just pull up and show out. Watch what I'm telling you. So now there is another water crisis. When I was actually just talking about in my last video, America being in between two waters, the Pacific and the Atlantic. I'm from the Atlantic side. I'm from the East Coast, straight off of the Chesapeake Bay. Very rich waters, calming waters, warm. However, extremely segregated. There is a difference between the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean. Those two oceans do not mix. Isn't that weird? They stop. They actually have a stopping point. You can Google it. There's a place where the oceans do not like go into each other. Apparently, something's different somewhere. And a lot of it has to do with greed behind the money. This very physical asset. It is a tool that we need here on earth. This is not something that we take. It is important to get us through life because God knew that we were going to need it through every generation, even through slavery. He knew how important that tool was. And so now, even today, with all of this advanced technology, there's only one sound system, and that is money. Valuable money. If we are not valuing water, if those politicians, if those governors up there don't value water, if they're going to let their people sit there and drink that water, and I'm not saying it's just that state. Over here in Texas, there's some places in Texas where the oil fields are, where the water is horrible. And we're just allowing that to happen because of greed and money. Oh, well, this company is profiting, and they're hoarding it, or they're spending it unwisely, or they're absolutely belligerent. They go off seas. And I'm going to be completely honest. Drugs are addictive. Okay? So as soon as somebody gets enough money to where they feel like they don't have to do nothing, God is telling me right now, more than half of those politicians are on some type of substance, man-made substance, some type of pill to focus, right? The opiate crisis is about to expose itself. I guarantee it. It's coming. It's going to come out. It's going to come out. The opiate crisis, the clinics, CVS has already had. Here goes another download that I'm just receiving. CVS just had an article that said there's some people out here that are having they untreated they're having untreated problems that were left untreated, and now they're having to rush to get some type of prescription, or now they're needing help. Look it up. I'm not just saying that I come across these things randomly and then I have dreams. And now here I am having a conversation because I feel like this is important for the people to hear, whoever decides to listen. So we have a water crisis, an opiate crisis. We have a credit card crisis that I talked about not too long ago. We have a health crisis right now that was brought to us by spiritual warfare, because we are so blessed that we are jealous. We're envied. Other countries are jealous, and we are extremely hated. But America has forgotten how it got here. In order for us to move forward, we got to revisit where we come from. And I guess that's the reason why I'm here, to make sure that everybody remembers where the hell America has come from. We weren't just productive out of thin air. Okay, there was actually blood, sweat, and tears that were put into the soil that made it as productive and great as it is. So when Trump say make America great again, let's put some different people up in the White House. I'm tired of seeing the same faces. I am. I'm not even going to sit here and lie. We do need more women there. We do need different people there. I'm sick of seeing the same people in the White House. Nothing has changed. I guess, what was it? I hope I don't get this wrong. One of those big, large institutions just had their first black valedictorian of 274 years. You could go look that up yourself. The first black valedictorian in 274-year history. One of these major universities out here. Where is the diversity? America has lacked. The only thing that America has lacked to produce in is creativity and ideas. They have lacked to allow that to be implemented into their government policy, so that people with real culture who can implement real change can actually make a difference. Because change comes through culture. Because people copy what other people do. Monkey see, monkey do. That's a real thing. People don't just say that for no reason. So they look to people, and like I said in my last video, people are looking for these big influencers, Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg, and now they're looking at all these big CEOs and this and that for questions and answers, and they're trying to figure out how to navigate through the economy. But what they fail to look at is their history. And what I mean history, I don't mean go back to the early 1900s, in the recession, of the 30s. We got to go past 1800. We got to go back to the 1700s where the thing came from. I'm trying to not be profound, and I'm really, really trying to work on my vocabulary, but we got to go back to the root. In order for us to continue to produce as we've done for thus long, we got to go back to the root and rewater that plant. I'm about to just pray right now. I'm about to just pray right now over all of my people that can hear me, that can feel me. Because, God, you are calling up a new kingdom of people that is going to be different than one that has ever been seen before. There are going to be some wolves out there, and there are going to be a lot of people that get ate up. They need to have different mindsets in the White House. Let's get rid of this orthodox mentality. It's outdated. It's corny. It has gotten us into so many recessions and apparently global panics. The entire economy depends on what happens here in America. Everything that America does, there's an influence here. Ask yourself why. Why is there such an influence in America? What made it so great? And it wasn't those people in lawmakers and meetings and conference rooms and traveling here and abroad. It was the people actually making the product. And y'all see my product. This is only one piece to my pie. But this is a product that I produce. And I can produce much more. These are just small little clippings that I have that I just decide to put up instead of my actual face. Because this is for people that can hear me, not see me. This is for people that can feel me, even if you're not visually there. Because for some odd reason, people can only believe it when they see it. But you don't believe the breath that's in your body, you don't see that. You don't believe that your heart is beating when you don't see that. Oh, you can feel it. Just like you can feel the wind, but you don't see that. So you can hear me. But do you feel me though?